Hey, what's up, guys? Today we are going to we're gonna watch this video real quick of Sarah Patrick, who killed her parents basically for clout. So I know just as much as you do. Nothing. So let's watch this video real quick. I need to find. Oh, okay, law and crime. That's what. Yeah. Why is there two videos? Alright, whatever.
I have more to tell you regarding the teen girl who was arrested this week for allegedly killing her mom and stepdad in Georgia in February. Her name is Sarah Grace Patrick, and she didn't just post on TikTok mourning the loss of her parents, she did a lot more.
Why would you ask me to cover a case where you are going to get arrested for taking your parents' lives?
It turns out she also reached out to several crime creators on TikTok, encouraging them to look into the case. One of those creators is going to join me to talk about what Sarah Grace Patrick told her and the chilling comments she left on her account that you just have to see. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. Before I get to this update involving the Sarah Grace Patrick case in Georgia, which is a huge story that we've been following, I also have a huge announcement to make for those of you who love to watch police body camera video. We know you love the action, but this is even better. Highlights from On Patrol Live are coming to YouTube. The show is live on the Reels channel and Reels Plus app every Friday and Saturday, and follows police officers across the country with over 50 cameras rolling live. And let me tell you, it is wild. We're talking high-speed chases, intense standoffs, and everything in between. So head over to On Patrol Live's YouTube channel to catch it all, and make sure to subscribe. The channel launches Monday, July 14th, and you can subscribe by clicking the link in the description. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. All right, let's get to the story involving Sarah Grace Patrick. I've found 3 TikTok creators who say that Sarah Grace Patrick reached out to them for them to cover the murders of her mom and stepdad. Now, this is the same Sarah Grace Patrick who this week was arrested by Carroll County Sheriff's deputies and is now accused and charged in those murders. She is now 17 years old, and deputies say that she killed her mom and stepdad by shooting them as they lay in their beds in the middle of the night on February 20th. Now, Sarah Grace was also the one who called 911.
Bro, what the fuck? That is insane, dude. You just get the balls to pick up a shotgun and go shoot your parents while they're sleeping in bed, helpless. That's fucking insane, dude. Like, that's crazy. Just shooting your parents asleep, helpless with a shotgun. God damn, bro. Look at her. She just looks like any other normal human. Just fucking pretty. A lot of guys would fall for that shit, dude. It's scary.
911. And not only that, she says that her then 5-year-old sister found her parents, Kristen and James Brock, shot dead. Just think about that. Sarah Grace also claims that it was her little sister who then alerted her, and then she alerted the authorities. But now we know that was allegedly a lie. Sarah Grace posted this on TikTok saying the loss of her parents hit her when, quote, "I see my 5-year-old sister screaming, crying for her mommy and daddy." I can't say it enough. Sarah Grace is the one who is now charged and accused of being the person who killed that little girl's mom and dad. Sarah has also posted about needing help with her mental health and needing to call a hotline for that and being depressed. So we are working to learn more about her mental health history as that part of the case carries on. But before I get you caught up on the social media part of this story, and that is a huge part of this story, I want you to know about the victims, James and Kristen Brock. And from what we have seen, members of their community love them. Their family loved them. They loved their faith. They were avid churchgoers in Carrollton, Georgia, a small, quiet town where stuff like this rarely happens. James and Kristen, they were a blended family as well. They were parents to that young little girl and the mom and stepdad to Sarah Grace Patrick. In the days, weeks, and months after the murders, Sarah was very vocal on social media, specifically on TikTok. She posted these videos, montages within days of the murders, memorializing her parents. This one says that she sleeps so she can see her mom, Kristen, who she allegedly killed. Other images show her crying with makeup running down her face, asking how someone could take her mom and stepdad away, people who she loved so much. She was a regular commenter also on posts and stories related to the murders that she allegedly committed, accepting plenty of thoughts and prayers. You can see on this one, she replies less than a month after she allegedly killed her parents with, quote, "I love you, thank you." On top of that, Sarah Grace spoke at her parents' funeral at their church. This is per WSB TV.
Although there's nothing we can do to bring them back, we still have control over how we treat people.
But we have found it goes deeper than that. She appears to have taken the initiative to reach out to TikTokers who cover true crime, encouraging them to research, report, and talk about the murders that she is now accused of committing, as if she was someone looking for justice for her parents.
Y'all, this is Sarah Grace, and she messaged me back on June 3rd and just said, search up Brock case.
This is the account called Allegedly Reportedly. It has more than 130,000 followers. Not only did Sarah Grace reach out to this account, she left some chilling comments. Look at this.
And she commented, "Thank you for spreading awareness." She also replied to this person who asked what was used in this crime, and she answered.
She answers with an emoji of a gun. These comments also are just within the last month. Now, it is unclear as far as the investigation is concerned whether or not law enforcement has that murder weapon and whether it's been recovered, but that...
Dude, this bitch is crazy as fuck. You have to be insane to do some shit like this. And her little sister's up at night crying for her mom and dad. That's terrible. What a monster.
That's not the only comment. Look at this one.
This person commented and said, from an investigative standpoint, it would seem that it was someone who knew them, hoping for answers and swift justice. Sarah Grace, the daughter and stepdaughter of these victims who has now been arrested, said most definitely was, since they knew the house.
That was on June 9th. And allegedly, reportedly, wasn't the only account that Sarah Grace contacted. This is from the account Jade Talks Crime.
TikToker Sarah Grace Patrick, age 17, reached out to me to tell me that she wanted me to research the case.
She also apparently spoke with this creator on the phone as recently as last month.
So Sarah reached out to me on Sunday, and we spoke on the phone, and we spoke via text. And she asked me to speak on her behalf about the night of 2/20/25.
Here's what Sarah Grace allegedly told TikToker Kelly Brown.
Sarah has confirmed that she was awake the night of the incident and heard nothing out of the normal. Those are her words, nothing out of the normal. But she did hear James's LVAD machine, which is his heart machine that kept his heart pumping. She did hear that alarm going off throughout the night. So those are the two things that she wanted me to share with you guys.
According to the Carroll County Sheriff's Office, James had survived major heart surgery and he may have been in need of a heart transplant, but he was a fighter, and a tragic part of this story is that his life was cut short this way. Not only did Sarah Grace post on TikTok about her parents like this one on Mother's Day, she also would post images as if she was continuing to live her life. It was just a week ago. She posted this from what appears to be a trip to the beach for the 4th of July. Deputies say even though Sarah Grace was 16 at the time she killed her mom and stepdad, she's now 17 years old. She is facing charges as an adult. She is facing 2 counts of first-degree murder and 2 counts of assault. Another part of this story that we're watching is deputies say that more arrests are possible in this case. Joining us now to talk more about this case is one of the creators on TikTok who Sarah Grace Patrick, it appears, reached out to cover the case she's now accused of, charged with the murder of her mom and stepdad, the creator behind Allegedly, Reportedly. I know in the TikTok true crime world, when it comes to first names and things like that, keeping information is very important. So we'll honor that.
Thank you.
But thank you for joining me We, in leading into this interview, we talked a little bit about some of the posts that you had and the comments that Sarah Grace left on your content. I'll just start right out of the gate. I mean, what was your reaction when you saw that she was actually charged with the murders?
Just absolute shock. Trying to sort through any time a teenager is arrested and charged with taking their parents' lives, that is shocking. But to double it, this is a teenager who asked me to cover this case, who emailed me her version of events of what happened that night, who replied to comments in ways that are now very chilling to look back on, but I didn't realize it. So the day the arrest happened, I was in a state of shock for hours. Yeah, shock.
Let's go back to when she first reached out to you. When was that?
That was on June 3rd. So that was the first time I had even heard of the James and Kristen Brock case. Her first message only said, look into the Brock case. And the only Brock I had readily available in my brain was Brock Turner. So I asked if that's what she meant, and it was not. She said, my parents, James and Kristen Brock. And I had a post up 2 days later for her, and she thanked me for it, started replying to comments. Yeah.
And there was a couple comments that I know you've posted in the last 24 hours that,
Yes.
chilling is kind of a word. It can be cliche in these moments, but I mean, the one with the emoji,
Yes.
walk us through that post. And now in hindsight, looking at it, just what your reaction is.
That is the most chilling. And like you said, that feels like a cliche word. I don't know an appropriate word outside of chilling, disturbing, haunting. Someone asked what the mode of this crime was, what weapon was used. Sarah Grace Patrick responded with an emoji of a gun. In the moment, when she first left that on June 6th or 7th, I knew that, of course, she knew what was used. But now with this charge, that is very strange to look back on.
And then the other one that may, I mean, to even top that in some ways is the question of whether or not whoever did it at the time when she's posting about this, whether they knew James and Kristen Brock and what she said on your account. What to see it now with her saying like, well, it must have been, I'm paraphrasing, must have been someone that knew them.
Yes.
I mean, even that is, you just are realizing you're looking at the words of someone who's accused of murder is just, it's a haunting.
Yes, and she went further to say not only was it someone that knew the victims, she said it was someone that knew the house.
Right.
I mean, and I keep saying how disturbing all of these were. I have provided them to law enforcement. As soon as I heard about this arrest, I knew that needs to be my first call. It felt like a very strange call to make, to say, hello, I do TikTok. You may want this stuff, but I'm glad that I did.
When she emailed you her version of events,
Yes.
what stood out to you? I mean, what was the narrative that she was telling about what happened?
So I won't be too detailed on that, and I apologize. I just want to make sure everything I've provided to the police, I don't speak too detailed about, but I will say when I received that, I read it to my husband, me still thinking this is a teenager that is heartbroken. She wants coverage. I read it to my husband and he said, she did it. And I said, what do you mean? How could you say that? That is, you're so heartless. How could you say that?
That's crazy.
So when the arrest was made, I had to tell him for the millionth time in our marriage, you were right, honey. You were spot on. Looking back, there are things that I guess should have been red flags for me. The way she was describing it, some of the descriptive words that she used. But again, in the moment, I just couldn't help but view her as the daughter of these victims and someone who was asking for coverage. So why would I believe she did it? Why would someone who did this want us to talk about it? But look, like I said, looking back at that email, those comments, even her original messages where she hinted at, hey, you should really do this video because it will get a lot of views. I should have immediately known that is not right. but hindsight.
Did she say something about like views
Yes.
on like in those comments? She did. What did she say about that?
Well, that was in her messages to me when she was first asking me to do the video. She said it will get a lot of hits. I just Googled it, and the only person who has covered it so far comes up right at the top. So I told myself maybe that's a teenager thing in 2025. My teenage years are pretty far behind me, so maybe they always think of views even when they're distraught. Um, but again, it was one of those things that I should have read and said, whoa, uh, this is suspicious. But naivety.
Everything's like, yeah, I mean, everything's like hindsight
Yes.
2020 because, people who will pitch us stories and, you're trying to sell it to someone who has a platform. And like, I could see without knowing what we know now that it's just kind of a teenager thing. One comment I saw from someone on social media that was kind of a red flag was the story about her 5-year-old sister who
Yes.
you just think of her now and you just hope that she, certainly loved by her family who she's with. But the idea that, this happened in a small house in a quiet place where if there's gunshots, you would hear that. And that it was the
Yes.
5-year-old who finds her mom and dad, James and Kristen, and then has to alert the girl in the house, alert Sarah Grace. That just to me stood
God, what a
out
piece of
as
shit.
kind of a suspicious, and it was someone else's comment, but seeing that now, it just seems like it sticks out that would have been something for law enforcement that would have been a bit suspicious.
Absolutely. I mean, the no forced entry. I know they said that there was a door unlocked, but the no forced entry, no weapon was in the home, so they were able to pretty quickly rule out murder suicide. Um, and so where is that? That is, of course, one of the questions. But her being 16 at the time of this crime and supposedly not hearing those gunshots, and James Brock had a heart monitor. I believe it is called an IVAD. If I
Yeah.
have that wrong, correct me. But that machine, to my understanding, would have been going off very loudly once his heart was no longer beating. So not only did the 16-year-old allegedly not hear gunshots, she allegedly didn't hear this heart monitor, no forced entry. Just so many things don't make sense. Now, of course, I keep repeating and will that she's innocent until proven guilty, but a lot of things that make you scratch your head looking at it all now.
No, definitely. And,
Yeah.
and we haven't heard her side of it. We know that the public relations, public information person for Carroll County had said it was a mountain of evidence, but then in the
Yes.
news conference, she wouldn't go deep into specifically what it was. They did confirm to us that was her TikTok because when we saw it for the first time, I mean, it was like, I was just, I don't get shocked often, but in looking at just everything we've learned since, it was like, we need confirmation that this is actually her. Did
Yes.
anything stand out to you? And I know in hindsight, we can sit and say, everything stands out as a red flag, but just the fact, the way she was commenting on those posts, like I think of even using, if your parents are murdered, to use an emoji, even in a reply was just like, that is a red flag to me now, knowing what we know.
Agreed. And then her comments, the amount, it's like she was finding every video that talked about this case and replying to so many comments. Would most people be that active on social media at a time like this? And then her post which her account is gone now, but her post where she would end the caption with, probably should delete later. Some of those were very strange to try to understand after this arrest. Some of her reposts that people found were also, I think, a lot of us are trying to analyze those reposts. Sometimes you can analyze things too much at a time like this, but she certainly left a digital footprint for us to all explore. And a lot of people wonder if, her messages to people like me, which I am not the only one, don't ever want to make it seem like I think I'm the only person she contacted. But was that a way, if she winds up being the person that did this, did she want to hear about this over and over? Was it a form of duper's delight? Or did she have a guilty conscience? And this was some way that she was ridding herself of some of that guilt. I just have so many questions.
I do too. And it's, how much will we learn, as the case.
I don't know, that bitch is fucking crazy. That's fucked up.
Wix gives you the power of AI
Ooh, snow cone.
to build the website you need. With full
absolutely zero play content on my boyfriend. The youth does not need this. You are never gonna bag a woman in your life.
Recently, a new streamer that appeared has been getting a lot of traction named Snowcone has been receiving a ton of hate for what seems like just existing lately. I mean, they hated on her because her boyfriend is apparently getting disrespected on her stream and she's approving of it, along with apparently using her looks to get a bunch of gooners to follow her. And the hate has gone so far recently that she was swatted on stream while playing games with Your Rage along with Ludwig.
Damn. Shut swatted, holy shit.
But I'm getting a little ahead of
fucked up.
myself, so let me break the situation down from the very beginning with who even is Snowcone for any of y'all that are genuinely unaware.
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I'm just there to wake up, clip farm, stream, and go to sleep. I don't be in all that extra.
Snowcone, before she blew up, was a pretty small streamer. From what I could find, all she did was mostly gaming content. I didn't see any IRL stuff, and mainly being Marvel rivals. But after being accepted into Streamer University and being introduced into this new IRL realm, she started going crazy, going to different places like DreamCon that happened recently, where she would meet up and collab with a bunch of streamers, like getting an Airbnb with a couple of upcoming streamers and just having fun, trying to make content all together. It seemed like her growth would be pretty good after Streamer U, but as all good things happen, so can some bad ones. From all the hate she's been receiving recently, you can see one starting point being her clip farming, and specifically her clip farming at DreamCon when she was doing a collab stream with Ash Oak. She went up to a Meg Thee Stallion booth and had this to say about it.
I don't know, it's really free Tory, so I don't know. I said it's free Tory. It's for Megan Thee Stallion. We signed with my man's Tory.
Tory Lanez supporter, Megan Thee Stallion supporter, just a normal human on planet Earth. You probably saw that clip and thought not only was that lame, but it was also corny. Yeah, she's trying to clip farm and get a funny moment, but why clip farm that, especially at an event like that? And also, why not even commit? Like, she literally started walking away the same second she started saying it, not even saying it loud. A lot of people gave her hate, regardless whose side you were on. Even Tory Lanez supporters were looking at that and calling her corny and just saying that that was a really dumb thing to say. And that was one of the first clips I've ever seen of hers get posted to a major source on like Twitter or something. Fearbug posted this clip and it got 14.3 million views. So a lot of people's first interactions with her is her doing something weird and corny that they don't agree with. It would make sense why she would get a lot of hate from that. And me personally, I couldn't find any response of her talking about the aftermath or even the hate she was receiving from the clip, so I genuinely don't know how she feels about it. But even with the amount of views that clip got, it doesn't amount to the hate she's been receiving due to a recent issue a lot of people have been having with her, which is her and her boyfriend's relationship.
Being Snowcone is like being Dante in a Divine Comedy. You're going through
all the circles of hell.
For the past couple of weeks, I've been seeing something very alarming. I found out Snowcone's cameraman is actually her boyfriend. And then I keep seeing all these clips of Buddy low-key being disrespected. The immediate response to any clip that may paint a streamer or someone they are close to in a negative light is, bro, they're clip farming. It's just for clips, man. It's for views. It's provocative. It gets the people talking. Whether or not it's clip farming or it's for views, I personally find nothing funny or enjoyable about seeing a girl low-key call her boyfriend a broke bum and shade him every other day. Additionally, the cameraman boyfriend had moments where he says some low-key underhanded things to her as well. Watching their relationship buckle under the pressure of Snowcone's ever-growing online presence is kind of crazy. I don't care how secure of a man you are, it's gotta be wild seeing your girl collab with all these every day. Every day, she gotta shake their hand, she gotta dance with him, she gotta cook with him and do all type of shit. You just gotta sit there and record it, bro.
Obviously, I'm gonna give y'all some context about why people feel this way, why people feel like Snow Cone's boyfriend is being so disrespected. First, again, as I mentioned, she is an IRL streamer, and obviously doing IRL streams by yourself may be fun, but it's better if you collab with people. So obviously she's gonna collab with a bunch of other streamers around her, which just happen to be men. I mean, let's think about it. Streaming is a male-dominated industry, so it makes sense that mainly when she does collab with streamers, she collabs with men. In these clips you might be thinking about where she's around a bunch of men doing a bunch of horrendous things, most of the time are clips like this.
This nigga imagine.
No, they do it. I'm solid, ideal. This is the dream. I gotta give it after this.
You gotta tap in.
You gotta tap this, bro. You funny as shit, bro. Bro, just take this.
Maybe I just got the wrong For You page. Maybe my algorithm just isn't synced to these Snow Cone clips that a bunch of other people are seeing. But the way people talk about how Snow Cone interacts with men, you would think she is the streaming version of Bonnie Blue. Most of the time, it's just stuff like that or her doing jokes. Oh my gosh, she's filming a bunch of TikToks with other content creators? The horror! You're acting like she is over here starting an OF, and that's what he's recording. When that is just not the case. And don't get me wrong, I love hating. I built this channel off of hating, but I like hating on things that make sense. And apparently people also said Snow Cone and her boyfriend are hating on each other, which is another reason why they shouldn't even be in a relationship and why he's taking this disrespect when it doesn't make any real sense.
Right?
In pure silence. In pure silence.
Okay, never mind. Fuck you.
You're losing war.
Fuck are you doing? Get up, boy.
Viewers started going up when I came on camera.
Get
look
your
at
ass
that.
up,
Yo, look,
boy.
yo. Pull your.
Fuck up. I'm not here to see you. Don't make me another beverage.
This shit's not over with.
Make me another beverage. Now. Come on, waiter. Okay, sanitizer? Yes. It's like,
No.
Shut up, Collins. You're a cameraman.
It's because I'm black.
I'll be real, out of all of those clips, the craziest thing she called that dude was boy, and that's because that's just racial. But outside of that, these don't seem that crazy to me. It just seemed like a normal interaction you would have with a girlfriend when you're joking around. Like, I genuinely don't get what people mean when they say they're constantly hating on each other and demeaning each other. I promise you, there are more clips, but I feel like y'all would just get bored of watching that. Like, some of the craziest things she said was saying that, hey, she doesn't know how to cook and she just has her boyfriend do it because she doesn't even know what she's doing. What are y'all talking about? This is demeaning in any way? I genuinely don't get it. And some people might sit there and say, well, actually, no, it's because he's hanging around huge streamers and they're over here using her as an object to try and flirt with her. Well, I also looked into clips of that, and genuinely most of the interactions go like this.
What are you doing?
I was trying to ask you, don't tell India, but I was seeing who boy you was. Okay. That's all I'm asking.
Now, I don't know if that was a crazy interaction to have. DDG said, yo, whose ball are you? And she pointed at her cameraman. Guess what? Is her boyfriend. 2-minute video on TikTok about why that's demeaning in him and why he should just leave the relationship. Just doesn't make any real sense to me. Because a bunch of people were actually doing this, it ended up having Snow Cone respond to it, because not only were people making these videos, but I'm assuming she was constantly getting tagged and flooded in her comment section with, man, I feel bad for your boyfriend. Man, your boyfriend must have a terrible job. Man, I can't believe he's actually doing this. And I'm assuming the hate got so annoying that she had to have a response on her stream.
There has been a considerable amount of chop-out boys talking in 2 times speed and men who get absolutely zero play commenting on my boyfriend, which is completely fucking stupid, bro. The youth does not need this. You motherfuckers are never gonna bag a woman in your life if you listen to men like these, bro. My boyfriend, sorry to break it to you, has been with me for over 5 years and is my creative director. The reason he's my cameraman is because he's fucking good at everything. Plus, I guarantee you he's making way more money than half these chop-ass men I told about him that don't even know him. If any of you motherfuckers who say I flirt with everybody on camera can show me a single clip of me flirting with a single person on camera, I will cash up you $10,000 right now. And I mean flirting, not doing my fucking TikTok dance, which is obviously a part of my job. I'll send you 10K. No hesitation. Like, I do not care about the allegations or the she looks like a man comes. I mean, 15-year-old boys are gonna be 15-year-old boys. That shit don't even get to me. But too many motherfuckers are on my man's dick and not leaving room for me, bro. It's like he's a method, and I promise you, he doesn't care. He says all press is good press. He actually finds that shit hilarious. But it's like every every day I see some new shit, and the motherfucker is more chopped than the last, bro.
The frustration is very understandable, and honestly, if I was in her position, I would have been crashed out. A bunch of people making claims about your relationship that they only see one side of, not even one side fully, because these people don't watch the streams, they only see clipped moments. It would get annoying after a while, and genuinely, I wish I could find a way to hate on this, but I just agree with her. Yes, maybe you think some of the jokes go too far. Yes, you might think, hey, her being in front of a bunch of guys is pretty crazy, but I would hope as two fully grown adults that if they genuinely find themselves in a situation that upset one of them or a joke went too far, that they would talk it out like any sensible person would. That's genuinely what makes the most sense, and I don't know why we're even harping on that. But what apparently is more annoying is Snow Cone claiming that she can't make any real money streaming, and it's genuinely going into the negatives. And I rub people the completely wrong way because she claimed you cannot really do anything with $10,000 that you made in a month when you're trying to be a full-time streamer.
Y'all know how expensive it is to keep up with content creation? You could get a 10K check from Twitch. What the fuck is a 10K check when you gotta spend 5K on trips just to travel, $500 on setup shit,
Bro, what?
fucking $2,000 on your rent, fucking
this
$200
bitch has
on
no
Wi-Fi,
concept.
$200 on IRL toolkit. You gotta pay the clippers, pay a YouTube editor. Chat, I don't think y'all realizing I be going in the negative doing this shit, okay?
Now, as someone who makes a living off of YouTube, maybe I'm just missing something because I'm not a streamer. But then again, I am friends with streamers who literally make a living off streaming. And I can almost guarantee you that $10,000 is enough to stream and do whatever you want. Some of the purchases she even mentioned didn't make any real sense. Like rent, that's a universal thing. Hey, we all get to pay rent. Along with the fact she talked about buying her setup, Wi-Fi. A setup is a one-time purchase. Wi-Fi is a thing, again, we all pay for. And it just seemed like the things that she was talking about didn't make any real sense, and it was just money mismanagement. Because what do you mean you're spending $5,000 on travel? Which is the biggest thing that a lot of people I've seen point out. It didn't make any real sense what she was spending this money on. It seems like someone who just doesn't know how to spend their money correctly for their passion. Streaming is something you can do with a low overhead. Content creation in general just is. And if you're doing stuff like paying editors, paying clippers, then I feel like you're trying to be a little bit too big for yourself, because those are things you could quite literally do just for you. I mean, you could clip up your own content, you can edit your own YouTube videos, especially if it's not that complicated, and you won't see that money just randomly dwindle away. All of those things combined together fester the hate so strong for Snow Cone that people went out of their way to swat her in her most recent stream.
Oh my god. Collins, it's not you?
Wait, what?
Yo, somebody's pounding on my front door. I'll be right back.
What'd you say? You gotta get up here, man. Where you at? But no, what'd you say? Remember we have to make progress this run. Is Rage on break or something?
Damn, bro, she got swatted. Holy shit.
Now, I don't care how much you don't like a content creator, how much you don't like a streamer, how much you don't like a person in your real life. Swatting somebody is genuinely very dangerous and very weird. And if you don't know what swatting is, it's literally when somebody makes a fake call to the police and tries to get someone to come to your house. SWAT banging on the door, loaded and ready to do whatever is necessary, because they call in things like, hey, somebody is sitting here, they kidnapped me, I need help, I'm genuinely scared, fearing for my life, things like that. So obviously if police were to hear something like that, they're going to send a bunch of officers to a house to try and make sure the situation is de-escalated, when in reality there is no situation, there is nothing to de-escalate, and it's just putting people's lives in danger for no real reason. And apparently before that even happened, Snow Cone was having some issues with people also delivering a bunch of pizzas to her house, which I genuinely think is very weird. Again, no matter how much you don't like a content creator, how much you disagree with an opinion they say, how much you disagree with how they treat people around them, there is no reason to go to these lengths of swatting, sending pizzas, or doing anything weird to their actual address. Make your little comments and jokes and think pieces on TikTok, but stay out of that lane. Overall, Snow Cone is genuinely hated a lot for things I don't understand, and some things I genuinely do understand. But in reality, I think it's just a normal content creator hate. And because she was put on a platform like Streaming University, where she was seen by a bunch more people, there is just a bunch more people that are gonna find things to hate about her that are really dumb and actually don't make any real sense. That's just the price that comes with being a content creator in general. Sometimes it sucks, sometimes it's good, and overall you just have to take the punches and live with it, because content creation, if you truly want to make it your job, just comes with some bad things that you just have to accept. But at the end of the day, that's just how I feel. But if you want to tell me how you feel, the best place to do would be the comment section down below, because this video is unfortunately over. But if you did enjoy this video, maybe consider giving it a like, and if you enjoy content like this, then maybe consider subscribing, because I post like this every single week. You'll never miss out on a single upload. With that bell icon, because you'll be notified the millisecond a video goes live. But that's enough for me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. The sweet scent of a honeymoon in Fiji. Moisturize with vitamin B3.
You better not be using all the Old Spice.
Can you get my bag?
Welcome everybody to another lesson learned experience of Lockdown 23-in-1. That's right, today we're going to learn ourselves another valuable lesson. Not to mention witness one of the longest Chattanooga train smoke clouds I've ever seen. It's like it's never ending. It's been a long time since I've seen the courts back up that Amco oil truck. Ladies and gentlemen, for anybody that doesn't know, when you're in jail, the inmates going through the court process, if you come back after getting sentenced to prison, the other inmates are going to say you got smoked. Your boots got fried, dipped in the finest oil, and torched. The smoke trail will follow you to prison for the next 10 years. That's the type of stuff you gotta hear from the inmates after you just get sentenced. Every now and then I like to clarify that for the people that might be new and saying, what the hell is this guy talking about? Anyways, the defendant here is going in front of the judge for multiple probation violations. And y'all know these violation cases terrify me more than anything. Because I went through plenty of them myself, man, and there ain't nothing more scary than not knowing what kind of time the judge is gonna give you. Especially when it has a big range of years that he can work with. So let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoy all things lockup and crime related, then this is where you want to be. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave, and check out my playlist with many more videos for you to start watching today. Alright, here we go. Not gonna lie, those portraits in the background of the past judges is terrifying. Legend has it, at night the frames of those portraits start dripping smoke. That's unreal, man. I'd have to see it to believe it, right? But for some reason I haven't even pressed play yet, and it's smelling like a school bus exhaust in here. And that only usually happens when someone gets sentenced to a lot of time, but I don't think that's the case with this one. Maybe I'm just smelling things.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, sentencing, probation violation, sentencing in 3 files. 22-6457, 23-6764, and 23-6765. Counsel, you want to state your appearances, please?
Mr. Goodrich, one kind of prosecutor.
Jeremiah Buffalo, we're on behalf of Mr. Sayers, who is seated to my right.
Okay, and have you had a chance to review the probation violation report?
Yes, Your Honor. We reviewed it some time ago. The court had been setting these matters out due to Mr. Sayers' other pending matters that are presently here in Sheboygan. We would ask that the court continue to hold that out so we can handle those other matters.
And my only problem with that is now it's alleged that he's committing crimes while he's in our jail, so I'd like to get him out of our jail. So I'm going to proceed with sentencing today. It's notice for sentencing today.
Not good, man. Not good. He can't be doing that type of stuff in Sheboygan. I don't know where that is, but for some reason I'm already thinking I want to move there. Look at all that Sasquatch, Alpine Birch. Honey Glaze, too. Look at the shine on that. Quit peeking behind his shoulder, man. There's 5 other seats. Scoot over. But look, this guy has dug himself a huge ditch. I don't know what kind of crimes he has, but he's going in there for 3 probation violations, I believe. And you heard what his attorney said. Can we put this off until he goes through the court process for his other crimes that he's committed? And why would he ask that? Is because once he's found guilty for those as well, chances are he'll get violated again. And nobody wants to get double violated, right? So they try to get all their court cases done and then handle that violation all at once. If that makes sense. It's kind of hard to explain. But the judge ain't going with it, right? So he's going to sentence him for this violations today and sentence him, I believe, for stuff that he's doing inside the jail. He said he's got to get him out of there. And what does that mean? That means prison, buddy. And the only way you get shipped to prison is by getting sentenced to prison time. So you know for a fact that's what he's about to get. Just how much is it? That's the question.
Additions or corrections to report? Ms. Goodrich, any additions or corrections to report?
No.
Is there anything you want to say on Mr. Sayers' behalf?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Sayers is a victim of addiction, Your Honor.
Oh, yeah,
and
I bet.
addiction rears its head in many ways, and it has got a hold of Mr. Sayers. Your Honor, I believe that the best possible solution for Mr. Sayers is to be engaged in treatment, and we would
I
ask.
think so too. And so I sent him to treatment, and he walked off and absconded.
Oh no!
So I don't know how to get him. I agree
We've done
100% with
everything
you.
for him.
The problem that we have is that Mr. Sayers doesn't agree with you or me.
In my conversations with Mr. Sayers, Your Honor, he does. He acknowledges that these acts that are alleged are tied to an addiction, and he needs the help. So, Your Honor, we would ask that the court fashion a remedy that allows for rehabilitation as opposed to punishment.
They're asking for something that is a remedy to rehabilitation instead of punishment. Well, like the judge said, he's already given them that, and he walked off from the program. That's one of the worst things you could possibly do. Almost as bad as bringing back a new crime because you're spitting in the court's face. That was your slap on the wrist. You're an adult, and chances are it's going to happen just like you're seeing in the courtroom now. They ain't going to give you no more chances. The only way to remedy it is by getting him into a program that he can't escape from, and that's programs that's inside a prison.
Mr. Sayers, it's not required to say anything today, but it is allowed. Is there anything you want to tell me?
I'd just like to say that what he said is 100% accurate. I do struggle with addiction. I definitely need help. I want the help. I mean, obviously I've struggled with trying to get there, trying to do it myself. But I have 2 kids that definitely need me, family that needs me. I'm disappointed in myself for everything that I've done. I want to do better. That's all, Your Honor.
It's recommendations from the people.
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant is 26 years old. He had 2 prior felonies and 6 prior misdemeanors before these cases. He was given a second chance by entering to recovery court, despite numerous warnings about taking it seriously and being ready for the program. Mr. Sayers has repeatedly said one thing and done another. He had made little to no effort during his time in recovery court, actually incurred another case upon release from jail to start recovery court, and now I received a warrant request today for conduct while in jail, waiting the sentence and having the other felony court case pending. So I'd ask the court to follow the recommendations. Thank you.
God damn.
Thank you, Mr. Sayers. Please stand for the court sentence.
Oh, man.
All right, so we're here for sentencing on probation violation.
You're smoking that
in
ass.
file 6457. You were on probation for resisting obstructing police by fleeing on foot from the police during a traffic stop. It's maximum 2 years. File 6765. You're on probation for fleeing, eluding 3rd degree habitual second, 7.5 year maximum. In that case, you fled in a car during a traffic stop, striking a police vehicle. Both high-risk behaviors. In file 6764, you're on probation for delivery of methamphetamine, drug double, maximum 40 years. Possession with intent to deliver methamphetamine, drug double, maximum 40 years. Possession with intent to deliver cocaine, drug double, maximum 40 years.
I don't know if that's 3 separate charges. That's what it sounded like, honestly. If so, then that dude's got like 129.5 years over his head. And he decided to walk away from his slap on the wrist program. How stupid can you get, man? God, I don't know how much time this guy's gonna get.
I mean, I've given you so many warnings.
Oh, no.
And we placed you in the recovery court program despite some of this high-risk behavior. You had multiple violations. We sent you to treatment, and you left treatment and then absconded supervision and had to get arrested. That's not even taking into account that it's alleged that you've committed more than 1 felony while all that was going on. Where will all this case have been going on? Even laying
Lock
that
him up,
aside.
throw away the
See,
key,
that's
baby.
what I call digging yourself a bigger ditch. I hate to see it, but I love to show people the reality of things.
baby.
He went on the run, and while doing so, he got all these violations that he's about to get sentenced for, and committed new felonies while out on the run. One scoop of dirt at a time, just as fast as it took for him to dig that ditch. It's gonna take him decades to get out of it.
He's been just out of control, and we have tried to give you every treatment tool in our toolbox. So now I got to reach for the other tools.
Oh, shit.
What your attorney's saying is a great pitch at the initial sentencing, and I bought it, and I put you in recovery court. And you and I have had several conversations, you and Mr. Fagan, you and Nicole. And I don't know why it just isn't sinking in. And it's not just that you're using drugs. I mean, we've got deliveries, we've got possessions with intent, we've got fleeing from police, we've got fleeing from the police in a car, hitting another car. They're high-risk behaviors. It places people in danger. Not just you, it places other people in danger as well. So, taking all those things into account, in file 6457, I'm going to, that's an advisory guideline range of 0 to 11 months. I'm going to revoke your probation.
Oh no.
And sentence you to, let's see, you have another 85 days credit, I think, because we've been adjourning this. So I'm going to order that you serve 284 days jail, give you credit for 284 days previously served. Any fines and costs that were previously assessed remain due and owing in the amount of any unpaid balance.
A light
That's
smoking?
6457.
200 and something days? Light smoking?
Yeah, that is a light smoking.
6765. That's the fleeing and eluding.
Oh, this is the fleeing and eluding.
3rd degree habitual second.
The felony fleeing and eluding, I believe.
The advisory guideline range is 10 to 28 months. I'm going to revoke your probation and commit you to the Michigan Department of Corrections for a term of not less than 28 months, nor more than 7.5 years, exercising my discretion under the habitual offender statute to increase the statutory maximum to 7.5. You have credit for, by my count as of today, 225 days credit. Any fines and costs that were previously assessed remain due and owing in the amount of any unpaid balance.
So the guidelines, I think, were 10 to 28 months. He went on the high end, gave him the full 28. And keep in mind, with all these different sentencings all at once, the defendant's really probably hoping that it goes concurrent instead of consecutive. As y'all know, consecutive means he would have to do all of his time back to back to back. But, it's not starting off good for him. Judge is getting him the high end on almost everything.
And that is a sentence within the advisory guidelines.
He can go outside the guidelines too, I believe.
764 on account of, I'm going to revoke your probation and any fines and costs and any remain due and owing in the amount of any unpaid balance. For the delivery of charge, the advisory guidelines are 51 to 85 months. The drug double would give me the discretion to double that to 102 to 170 months.
Oh my.
I'm not going to exercise my discretion to increase the guidelines, but I am going to exercise my discretion to increase the maximum penalty under the statute. So for that case, Mr. Sayers, I'm going to commit you to the Michigan Department of Corrections for not less than 85 months, no more than 40 years, with credit for 225 days previously served. That's a top end of the guidelines without the drug doubling. I believe that is proportionate, given his absconding supervision and leaving treatment. And again, I'm not exercising my discretion to double those guidelines.
He said no less than what, 85 months? That's damn near a decade. Not to mention he said he raised the maximum sentencing on it, so he probably has a lot more time over his head in case he gets in trouble, but he could have doubled that. And he hasn't even finished sentencing for the other stuff. I think we're like at 120 months right now.
I'm leaving them undoubled, but at the top end. I am exercising my discretion to increase the statutory maximum from 20 to 40 years, however. On the count of possession with intent to deliver meth with the drug double, the advisory guidelines are 72 to 120 months. I would have it within my discretion to double that to 142 to 240. I'm not going to do that. However, because Mr. Sayers walked off of treatment and absconded treatment court supervision while all of this was going on, I'm going to sentence him to the upper end of the undoubled guidelines and commit you to the Michigan Department of Corrections for not less than 10 years or more than 40 years. Credit for 225 days previously served, increasing the statutory maximum by the drug double statute. And on the possession with intent to deliver cocaine, drug double, 40-year maximum, advisory guidelines 10 to 23 months. I'm going to not double the guidelines within my discretion, but sentence you again at the upper end of those guidelines at 23 months to 40 years. Credit for 225 days previously served. Exercising my discretion to increase the statutory maximum, however, not increase the guidelines. And again, top end of the guidelines is certainly proportionate in this case. You are able to file an application for leave to appeal if you wish on any of these cases. If you want a lawyer, I give you one, but you have to ask me within 42 days. So we're going to hand you some paperwork explaining that process. One copy is for you to sign. If you want to take an appeal, the other one, we're going to ask you to initial one in all three files so that we have a copy of it.
Your Honor, I'm definitely appealing that. I can't even breathe.
If you want to take an appeal, the other one, we're going to ask you to initial one in all three files so that we have a copy of it.
But homeboy ain't going to be seeing his two kids for a long time, especially if he runs it consecutive. God, what's he going to do?
A lawyer, I give you one, but you have to ask me within 42 days. So we're going to hand you some paperwork explaining that process. One copy is for you to sign. If you want to take an appeal, the other one, we're going to ask you to initial one in all three files so that we have a copy of it. And then we'll just have to writ them out or do it by video to deal with the pending cases. But I'll not have you in our jail any longer, sir. Good luck.
Did they already say it? Did they already say it or not? What kind of attorney does he have? They didn't even ask him.
All those sentences will be concurrent to each other, which I think is required by law on those files. But they're all concurrent to each other, all accounts, all files.
Oh, thank God. Concurrent. Ha! So he's probably going to have to do like 10 clip. And for anybody that doesn't know, consecutive, like I said, he would have had to done the 2 years, then the 28 months, and then the 10 years, and then the 28 months, whatever, however many things he got sentenced to, you would have to do them back to back to back to back.
Damn,
now
so
he just puts them all together, has to do them all at the same time, but the time that he's doing will be capped at the one that he got sentenced to the most, which I believe was 10 years. Crazy. So that's what he's going to have to do. And I think Michigan has a little bit different of a good time ratio than what I'm used to. I can't remember, but with good time and stuff, I think he could get out in like 9 flat, 8.5. Unless I heard things wrong. I mean, this guy had a lot of different stuff. And keep in mind, he starts going to courtroom for other felonies. So not only has he got this 10 and some change to do or whatever, chances are he'll probably get a few more years over there. And then they're going to probably put a lot of time over his head for those crimes. Not to mention the ones he's already got. So if he messes up again, then he's got to go through the violation process, just what he did today, all over again for all of these crimes. And the judge increased the maximum sentence on him. So even though he didn't really get a slap on the wrist today, it doesn't matter. It could have been a lot worse. If he messes up again, the size of the window for the amount of smoke to come through is going to be huge. Bigger than it was today. So I wish this guy the best of luck, man. You need to stay the hell away from those inebriants. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, a prime example of ditch digging on probation at its finest. It's crazy to think that someone with so much time over their head would just not show up to probation. They have to be clueless to the fact that they could get decades. If not, then, you know, the stupidity or the addiction is strong. I cannot stress this enough, alright? Probation is key to your freedom. Make sure to follow every rule and regulation. Don't think for a second that you can bend them and twist them any which way you want. I promise you, man, some POs, they might have a heart, show a lot of leniency before they slap a violation on, but a lot of them don't, man, and they're gonna smoke you immediately. Not to mention those good POs that give you chance after chance. It's out of their control once you bring back a fresh crime. It's guaranteed. They're violating you. That's the process. So if you are on probation to have something like that going on, just expect it. You're gonna be going to jail, chances are. Anyways, I'm out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did and you're new, hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave. And as always, y'all be easy, be safe, and more importantly than anything, stay free.
Oh my god, is that Miss Meow? Oh my god, turkey dog.
We have a warrant for your arrest, so we're gonna take you in.
Detectives took special ed teacher Allison Haveman Niedrick in last summer after they said she had sex with an 8th grader. Now she's facing more charges. I have the details and why prosecutors say Haveman Niedrick was obsessed with this boy.
Oh my god. Meow. Meow. What did they just say, meow?
Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Allison Haveman Niedrick is facing very serious charges in New Jersey. A grand jury in Monmouth County indicted Haveman Niedrick on 7 counts, including aggravated sexual assault in the 2nd degree, 2 counts of endangering the welfare of a child, and she's accused of endangering a child by manufacturing and possessing child pornography. Previously, prosecutors had said that detectives found videos of Haveman Niedrick and the 8th grade boy having sex. She's accused of recording